any interesting comments or mention. Oh, we're going live now. Okay.
Indeed we are.
All right, let me
Buckle up, kids.
Is it going to be a bumpy ride?
I always have to mute us because I can hear it's like a 5-second delay. Hello, everyone. We're just letting the room fill as we normally do. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our world of Madonna.
It's almost bedtime, so.
Yeah, you're very Barbie appropriate today, Liberty.
Actually.
Did you like the movie? I loved the movie.
Oh, I love the movie.
So good.
I can't wait to see it again.
I just saw an ad on Instagram and they were like, go see it again and again. And I was like, yeah, I kind of think after I saw Oppenheimer, I was walking out of the theater and I passed by a screening of Barbie that was already in progress. And I was like, I kind of want to sneak in and see the rest of the movie. Just because like Oppenheimer was such a serious, heavy, long movie. And
we meant to see Oppenheimer, but we did not. So
Barbie was a good choice.
I am super happy about it. And I think there's so many things that I maybe could get, out of a second watching. And it's so funny because like my best friend, she was like, I mean, it was okay. I was like, then you didn't get it. You didn't get it.
I did think, as I was watching, I did think this would have been a fun movie for Madonna to make a cameo in.
Absolutely. I would have loved that.
Like she could have been like Mother Barbie or something.
Lord knows I'm sure I made my Barbie and the Rockers sing a couple Madonna songs when I was playing Barbies at that age. I loved Barbies, so this was a really great movie for me. And I've ordered Barbies for my classroom. I have 2 German Barbies.
I hope you dressed them up in cone bras and
for my classroom, Stefan. I don't teach
the children. This isn't
Madonna
Florida.
101.
This isn't Florida. You can do what you want.
It's Florida like 2.0 over here.
Oh, really? Oh, right. Texas. Ben, how's the room looking?
We've got almost 30 people tuning in. We have people, Spencer from the UK and Mario from Mexico. So I think it's time for you to kick us off, Stefan.
Yes.
Well, you start. You love starting, Ben.
Hey, everybody. It's Ben. Welcome back to the function.
Hey, everybody. It's Liberty. How are you tonight?
Hey, everybody. It's Stefan. Welcome to another live edition of MLVC, the Madonna podcast, your place for all things Madonna, Louise, Veronica Ciccone. We are very Madonna-tastic today. If you're not watching the show live with video, we have updated our backgrounds and we're all seeing double Madonnas. I've got Pink Donna, Ben's got I Rise Madonna, and Liberty's got original bedtime story cover Madonna. So yeah,
who needs the sun when the rain's so full of light?
Yes,
representing the eras.
Hello, ladies. so glad she could be with us tonight. We did invite her to the Zoom, but alas, Madonna must be too busy to join us tonight. Hopefully getting ready for that tour.
She's so busy right now, we cannot interrupt the process.
Yes, no ecstatic process for Madonna today. Well, it's actually been a little bit since we've gotten together, all three of us at the same time. And of course, whenever all three of us get together, I always think it's fun to just do a little bit of one of our favorite segments on the show.
This week in Ciccone, kids.
You know she'll take you.
Oh, okay. That was my cue. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Liberty missing her cues.
Listen, would it be an MLVC podcast if I did everything correctly? No,
She's
it would
hypnotized
just,
by her pink dress.
that's
I
right.
guess. This is when we need a sound effect of Madonna calling for Don Draper. I'm waiting.
You know she'll take you there.
Oh, you're so on tonight, Liberty.
Oh,
It's amazing.
yes. I'm always on in my head, just not. It doesn't come out.
It's okay. Well, don't just stand there. Let's get to it. It's time for a little This Week in Chaconi. Well, let's just say we had big plans for tonight's live broadcast, and Madonna and Live Nation continue to be the elusive, foxy ladies that they are. We had planned on talking about the celebration tour rescheduled dates, and alas, that's not happening, just because they have not come out yet. When are they arriving? That's the question of the hour across all of Madonna fandom. Time goes by so slowly.
For those who wait.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yes,
you don't
true.
if you don't wait, the water's going to boil and the dates will get rescheduled and you'll wake up and have refresh tickets.
Yeah. See, wouldn't it be great to live in a world where you're not waiting on a Madonna ticket? I know Ben doesn't. Ben just writes his poetry and drinks his cocktails, and when Madonna surprises him with the rescheduled tour dates, he'll be surprised. Meanwhile, Liberty and I are literally texting on an hourly basis. Where are they? What's happening?
Yeah, there is a lot of anticipation on my part, and I know on a lot of fans' parts as well. Everybody's like refreshing emails and checking Facebook incessantly, or Threads, or whatever your social media preferred venue is, just to see if somebody. And now we've seen a few. Well, I have seen a few. I don't know if you guys have seen a few pop-ups as far as like, oh, these are the rescheduled dates, and then Houston is not there anymore mysteriously, and some other. I imagine there's a lot of little like tweaks and things that we can't even fathom as normal humans who don't work for Live Nation. So, we just have to be patient.
Yeah, I just don't understand why it's taking so long. Like,
Yeah. Well, we never learned that lesson from Madonna, because all we know is she hates waiting, right? And so here we are, like all as disciples going, I can't wait. That's not fair. It's like, where's what I want right now, right this second?
Yeah,
Everybody should be.
exactly. It's a very instantaneous culture that we live in these days, where it's well, the one thing that did happen today from the celebration tour that we can report on is Nassau Coliseum updated their website to say that they are having a private event from August 13th through October 1st, which, as we all know, Nassau Coliseum is the venue in Long Island, in my old college town of. Oh, did I freeze? Oh, sorry, I froze for a moment.
Yeah, we thought maybe you'd gotten an alert that your dates were rescheduled and you were
Right.
having a seizure.
Yeah, I'm just like, hold on, kids, I gotta. So Nassau Coliseum booked out some time, which I assume is for Madonna's celebration tour rehearsals. So they are scheduled to start back up on Madonna's birthday week. I'm sure she's ecstatic about that.
Yeah, it's probably perfect timing for her.
She's probably going to be like, guys, I'm going to the islands, and you and Bob the drag queen can start rehearsals, and I'm going to be sipping coconut water on the beach.
Yeah, this would be the first year in a while she's not taken an extravagant birthday trip to Italy or some lavish rich people place. So,
and I think she was meant to be in Chicago this week, right? If the tour had actually happened, I think she was meant to be in Chicago.
Yeah.
Again, very busy, but so for the rescheduled dates, when they arrive, we will make sure to. It probably won't, like, if she drops them tomorrow, we're not going to be able to do another live, just because Benjamin has theater plans. And
you know me, I'm not waiting. I'm just
you can't.
I'm not
Ben's
hesitating
living his life.
either.
He's got kinky boots on the mind.
Yeah.
He's got things to do, people to see.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I on the other hand would be definitely ready, but I don't want to leave the kids out. So we'll go live again when we're ready to report once those dates are out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing is it'll give you guys a second to sort of marinate. If they happen tomorrow, everybody will be like, okay, so wait, what am I going to do? Am I going to stick with that date, or am I going to have to reschedule or
Right.
find another
Oh,
opportunity?
Lord, I'm not ready for it.
Yeah, as am I. I mean, I don't 100% know, what it's hard because as a teacher, I have to sort of plan it way in advance and think about like, okay, am I going to have to fly somewhere? Is it going to be like, if it's on a freaking Tuesday, like that's a problem.
Hi, kids. All right. Well, we're going on a school field trip
Yeah.
today, and you're going to wait over there in the parking lot while Miss Liberty goes in and watches the show. I'll be back
Yeah.
in about 5 hours.
I know.
Ay, ay, ay.
Get your
Actually,
parents to sign the authorization form.
yeah, that's right. Everybody get ready. Here's your cone bra. You wear this one.
Yeah. Johnny, do you have your permission form? I'm sorry, you can't go. Well, also today on Instagram, our lady of the hour posted again. I gotta say, in waiting for the ticket announcement, I've also been starved for Madonna posts because ever since the hospital, she's been very off Instagram, which is not like Madonna. She's trained us to expect her posting much more frequently than she's been.
Yeah.
But I was very happy to see her post today, which again makes me feel like she's in much better spirits and she's definitely recovering and she's looking healthy. Her post was, well, tonight we were all dressed up and nowhere to go, but soon, very soon, I'll be traveling to you. And I was like, traveling. Come on, Madonna. Travel over.
Traveling down my own road.
Oh, good one. That's a good running song. I don't run, but when I hear Sky Fits Heaven, I'm like, put me on a treadmill. And I was like, again, when I saw that post, I'm like, well, if Madonna's bored in the house, she's more than happy. We'd more than welcome her on the show, but again, it looks like she's feeling better. And I loved that shot of her standing in front of the mirror with her vanity with the light, and it like illuminated her hair.
Oh, that was gorgeous with all the books.
Very bedtime story at the Brit Awards type of like long blonde hair. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, but you know what I loved about that the most was there was this sort of juxtaposition of like intelligence and glamour in in one shot, in these two very like sometimes opposing forces in this world. And all of the books give this sort of, because we know she's well read. We know that she's always giving. She gives people books, and then yet she is goddess, ethereal, glam. There's so many things going on in that photo. It was an excellent photo. I really liked that too. I like the one where she's sitting next to the bidet.
That was my favorite.
I love that one too. Because a good bathroom shot, but also it's just a cool angle. And I love the Botticelli like curls. It's so pretty.
She was wearing her Batuka veil, I saw.
Ah, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's just really nice to see this is like the first of the usual several or 4 to 5 pictures you can sort of pop through.
She gave us a carousel again after
yes
like 1-2 pictures here or there. So I was real quick, Ben, what are you wearing? What shirt are you wearing tonight?
I'm in the erotica tank top.
Oh,
I love it. It's one of my favorites. I like to wear it when I go to like gay spaces and events, and you get that look from people who sort of maybe know what it is, but clearly don't. And then, everybody like over a certain age is like, they point and nod and they get it,
I love that TikTok filter that I used on the reel the other day.
Yeah, that was hot.
I was like, oh my God, there's an erotica filter on TikTok. I'm always going to use this.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
If somebody could create like a bedtime story video TikTok filter with like a spinning sunflower that like the petals close around, like that
from
would
the
be
video.
Put my lips here and like that would be cool.
There
Yeah.
is one that moves your eyes and your mouth.
Yeah, that's right. I remember
Yeah.
there used to be one, I think it was on Snapchat a long time ago too. There was like two
Oh, showing your
two
age.
mouths.
Ooh, no.
I know. Back when I used to use that app. Not anymore.
Is that around
Mm,
still?
yeah.
What?
Why do I think the kids
Snapchat?
still use it?
Oh, the kids still use Snapchat, the teenagers. That way their parents can't see the messages.
I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Did you watch? Sorry, just a quick second. Did you watch the new season of Heartbreakers yet?
I haven't.
Oh, it's so good. It's wonderful. Season 2 just came out. I love Heartbreakers. It's such a wonderful. Ben, you'd love it. It's a gay show, gay coming of age show. And every time I watch it, I'm always thinking, oh, I missed out on this by not being out to myself in high school.
Mm.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful. But they only communicate via Instagram. Like they don't text each other. And I was like, why are they only using Instagram? And I'm like,
That's my
Because their
son.
parents can't see their Instagram DMs versus
Right.
their text message.
but I didn't know. I was like, why are they? And like, there's one moment where like one of the characters was trying to desperately get in touch with one of the other ones. And I'm like, why isn't she calling her?
Dial the phone
Like, just
number? Are you
pick
crazy?
up the phone. Like she's texting. I'm like, call her.
That's hilarious.
Oh, but my t-shirt I'm wearing, I don't know if you can see this. It's a very beautiful t-shirt, Madonna True Blue, that our wonderful listener and supporter Ron Redvinsky gave me as a little gift when I visited him in California. So
Oh, Ron, that's amazing. You're so
thanks,
sweet.
Ron, for I was like, oh my God, I know this isn't an authentic Madonna t-shirt, but I kind of love it anyway.
It's gorgeous.
You're not wearing, that's not a Madonna shirt, is that, Liberty? That's just
No, I'm a Barbie girl in
pink.
a Barbie world.
Ben, what's happening in the chat? I can see you reading. You're very in the chat today.
People are talking about they've seen dates that have been rescheduled for like Denver. Someone said Denver's been rescheduled for March, and and then there was another one, and I was like, oh, that's very interesting. So I asked them to share with us where they are finding that information.
Like I said, I saw someone, I think it was Dennis maybe posted something on Facebook, but I've seen it as well. And I thought they were more like placeholders. I don't really know how official that might be, but I'll look and see what those are really quick.
Yeah, I had hopped on Ticketmaster today for two reasons. One was to see if Madonna's tour dates had possibly been updated. They had not. But then the other was to see about trying to get Kylie Minogue tickets in Vegas. Well, let me just tell you, everyone, that was a shit show because the Kylie tickets, they weren't doing it on Ticketmaster. It was through like the Voltaire Hotel site in Vegas. And what a disaster. So the Voltaire website could not manage the immense amount of people that were trying to get tickets. So people were requesting tickets. The site was crashing. It wasn't letting them. It was freezing. It was just pinwheeling. So that was one part of the shit show. The second part was those tickets make Madonna's tickets look cheap. Like they're doing travel packages. So it's like $2,500 for your airfare, your hotel, and your ticket. And you have to sit in a booth with your friend. And it's a minimum spend of like $500 a piece for food. And you have to get caviar. And I'm like, what is happening? Where have we gone? Like, I don't know. I miss the days when things were affordable. Like a $20 Blonde Ambition tour ticket, like now that's just cost prohibitive. I'm sadly not going to be able to see Kylie because I can't afford $2,500 to go to Vegas. And now they're like, people are reselling them already for like there's $200 standing room tickets that people are already reselling for $1,800 on StubHub. I'm like, wow. I'm sorry, but if you buy a ticket, you should have to go to the show. I don't understand this whole reselling thing where people are just doing it to make money. Like that shouldn't be allowed. You should have to be a fan. I know it sounds petty, but like if you buy a ticket, you should have to go to the show.
Yeah, I wish there was really a way to sort of police that or to better, like control what happens. You know, a lot of people who are really desperate for tickets just end up, sometimes you can't even log in when you want to,
I
you
know.
know, I mean, not everybody is like sitting in front of their computer 24/7, even at
Or we
work.
have jobs.
Right. I'm not allowed to be on those types of sites at work. So I don't,
Oh,
you know,
sorry, kids. I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be there for about 45 minutes.
but forget that. I don't want to be on my phone doing that. That's like even scarier because I don't know why, but I just don't trust that.
Carla, Jenny, I told you not to smoke in the girls' bathroom. You're in detention.
Well,
know.
but to circle back to Madonna and what you're talking about with the Kylie experience, this is something that a lot of people have said, oh, Madonna should do a residency and play in Vegas or do something in New York. But it would be the same cost issue there too, because these are experiential things that are geared toward the higher end consumer who is looking for that sort of experience, not even necessarily because they're a fan of the artist, but they seek out these sort of experiences. So I'll give props to our queen for still trying to rock it out in a arena tour and, you know, giving us that show with, and, you know, the show that I had tickets for, I mean, the nosebleed seats were legitimately $85, which still sounds like a lot, but I mean, you could go see Madonna for $85 if you wanted to sit way up there. So
you're in the room. You're in the room. You
you're
get to
in
hear,
the room
you
and
hear the music. You
absolutely, you can watch the whole thing on the screen. You know, that's what a lot of people are doing it. Beyonce and Taylor Swift, they're watching
I saw
it on
so
the
many
screen.
people.
So
Like
yeah.
I think I've seen video. That's how I've seen Taylor Swift and Beyonce's shows, is people recording video of the screens, not of the stage, because they're too far away. So they just film the screens so you can actually see what's happening. Yeah, it's crazy. Tickets are, it's insane. I don't, it's such a business now.
But as we've seen with like both the reaction from fans and the media coverage of both the Taylor Swift tour and the Beyonce tour, like part of it is like the group experience. I mean, and this is what I think for a lot of fans with the delays for Celebration and you know, part of that frustrating is everybody was looking forward to finally getting back together for that in mass, the big experience, which with Madonna, we've not had now. I mean, it'll be 2024 next year before it comes to the States. For a lot of people, it will have been 9 and 8 years since we had that in a Madonna setting, right? Because Madam X was so much smaller and it just didn't have the same energy because there weren't enough people to make that sound that takes over the venue.
The roar,
the roar,
yeah.
So it'll be nice to have that back. I mean, you could hear the roar when Taylor Swift played here. You literally could hear the roar from like miles away. You could hear the people screaming from the 70,000 person stadium. Like it was just insane. And I thought, oh, that's what I miss about seeing the big artists, is that sensation and how what that taps into us as humans. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to get there. It's just taking a little longer than we had hoped, but
yeah, for sure. Liberty, what are you distracted doing now? Now you're reading the comments?
I was trying to find those dates, but I can't find them anywhere.
You know what? Put that away. Come back to us. I don't like that you're distracted from this date thing. It's not.
I was doing research.
That important.
Yeah, she was doing ready reference. That's what we call it in the library industry. She was doing ready reference.
It's okay. I think that maybe most of them maybe they've disappeared out of like fake news. I don't know, but they're gone. They're gone. So, whatever you heard, guys, it's all a lie.
Oops, I didn't know I couldn't talk about dates.
All right, what else were we going to talk about?
Another thing. So, one of our lovely listeners was giving me shit on Instagram, as some of our people tend to love to do, send me hate messages. I get probably at least one a week. This one was giving us shit for not addressing Madonna's first album 40th anniversary on the day that it happened. I'm like, well, I'm sorry that we had hallowed guest from dancer of 3 Madonna tours and choreograph of 3 others. It's like, I take the guests when we can get them, people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, no, sorry, we're going to talk about Madonna's album instead. You can't come on the show. It's like, sorry, that's not how it works. But I figured, since somebody reminded me that we hadn't talked about the 40th anniversary, I thought we'd talk about it tonight. So yeah, Madonna's first album has been around for 40 years, which is kind of cuckoo bananas to think about that. I remember when that album came out. So what do you think about that? Where does that put you when you hear that Madonna's album is 40 years? I mean, it's so crazy to think that music has been with us basically our entire lives.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's made me who I am, and I wouldn't be where I am or who I am without that record at all. Like having, it definitely changed the course of my life. It changed the course of, I think, a lot of fans' lives who've been around since that time. So the weird thing is it doesn't feel like, when I think of 40 in, just the number, or age, I think, oh, that's a long time. That's old. Or at least I really thought that was very old, let's say when I was 22 or 3. But I don't think of it as, because to me it still sounds so fresh. It's not like you're listening to, an old Rolling Stones record or something like that. It has such a contemporary feel then and to now, and it doesn't even wholly sound like a lot of what was on the radio at that time. So I think
I
that's
think
what keeps that.
even the songs of Madonna's that sound like they're from the 80s still transcend, at least to me, still transcend the 80s in a way that, like, some of those like one-hit wonders that never made it past the 80s weren't able to achieve,
Right.
like, I mean, especially from the first album, Holiday does not sound like an 80s song. That just sounds like an eternal classic to
Right.
me. Like, there's just something so timeless about, like, somebody could release Holiday today and maybe it would be a little bit more souped up with drums and production and synths, but otherwise that's a perfect song. Like, that's such a great song, and there's a reason why Madonna always performs that song in tour. I hope we will see that again in a different iteration of some way, because I love when she reinvents that song on tour. So I really hope that, I'm sure we will at some point during the show. But I think about a song like Burning Up. Burning Up definitely sounds like that's an 80s song. Like,
there are a lot of 80s elements, this guitar
Yeah.
part coupled in the pop, with the pop.
It's just, there's something so 80s, but I just love it. I think it works. There's maybe I Know It. That would be the one that's like, okay, that's definitely stuck in the 80s.
Yeah.
I think of Me as the time capsule song there. And
yeah.
And Physical Attraction is very much a time capsule song also.
Yeah, but
it just depends on how you listen to it. I really think Physical Attraction is, I do understand where you're coming from there, but I think of Physical Attraction, maybe it's the structure of the song that I think is, and also all of the varying like length, not the album version, but the ones that you can get like as the 7-inch and like the longer play ones. They have such a different structure and a long structure, which was unusual for pop 80s, because they were short, sweet, to the point, deliver the message.
I mean, Physical Attraction, anytime Madonna's breathily talking in a song, I'm sign me up,
Yeah, that part I see, and I think that's the part that sounds maybe more time capsule-y, like speaking in a song to me is very heavy. I don't know if
but I
80s
always
is
love
the
that
word,
sort of
but
like we got that on her first album, and then we've gotten that periodically again throughout her entire career. There are certain elements from the first album that she sort of established as her trademark stuff right up front, and we've continued to get those elements every now and again in some of her other songs and albums, which I've always loved.
And I'll say this too, I think like and comparatively speaking, between Madonna and Like a Virgin, the Madonna record to me sounds way more cross era or cross times than Like a Virgin. To me, Like a Virgin is like really in a bubble.
I think the difference to me from the first album to the second album is you can tell that there was a bit more freedom and less like record company control, whereas Like a Virgin was like, here's your producer, go to work and turn out some hits type of
Which
thing.
to me speaks a lot to whatever Seymour Stein heard, because he would have had to know that this was something that was going to like catapult it just forever. It would live forever in everybody's minds, you know. And of course it could have just been her, you know. We hear sort of legends about like what she was like, but at the same time, I think that the record speaks a lot for itself, and the musicality and all of the ideas that were going into it, and that hunger is so poignant throughout. You can just hear it, that it's like a yearning for eternity. I don't know if that's even the right way to put it, but it's just like, I want to live forever. That record says that more than, to me, any of the others.
Ben, what are your thoughts on first album?
I mean, I think it was definitely an identity setter, as the two of you have said. I think the change that Liberty's talking about from that album to Like a Virgin was Madonna deciding, oh, I want to make my version of Thriller.
Yeah.
And so it was the big sound of the moment. But then even on the album tracks that she wrote with Steven, even with Niles's production, you know, it still has the spirit of the first album. And so I think Liberty's correct in that the first album is her DNA that she always keeps going back to. And we've seen this repeatedly with, you know, the revisitations of the themes of the songs and sort of, you know, getting back to that energy, like Music. That album very much harkens back.
Yep.
Confessions does it. Yeah, I mean, the only time that she didn't harken back to it when she took a big leap forward was really Erotica and Ray of Light. Like, you know, those were true like leaps forward in her style and presentation and what she was trying to do with her music. And you could make the argument also that American Life was in that same wheelhouse. But yeah, it's like the template. But for me, the thing I always take away from the first album is you know, sort of like a life manifesto with the lyric, you know, unlike the others, I'll do anything. I'm not the same. I have no shame. I'm on fire. I mean, that is everything you need to know about her, right? From then
100%.
and as much as everything else that came after it was written like a slogan and brandied like a manifesto, that line right there, it's that drive and that compulsion is just, yeah, it's there in the music. It's not even a performative element of the artist in representation. It's there in the music. And yeah, you just can't fake that. It's there. And that's what I really appreciate about the first album. And 40 years on, like, I listened to it quite a bit there. Was that last week? Oh my God, what is time? You know, and like you said, a song like Holiday and Lucky Star and Borderline, like they have held up and they feel eternal. Now, part of that is the memory of the zeitgeist, right? And that they were omnipresent and they have a familiarity, just like a
and
prayer.
The hooks are so infectious. Like you just can't, you hear those songs and it's the subtle simplicity where it's like, it tricks you. I've frozen again, haven't I? You'd think the internet service. I'm sitting right by the router.
Well, it's the songwriting, yes, but there's also because I think about how the songs were released and didn't take off and then became hits later, right? Like, and and how many times did they technically release Lucky Star before it finally took off? It was like 3 times. And and Like a Virgin got delayed because they were waiting for the late blooming hits from the album to sort of cool off at radio, which there's that interview where she was like, well, the album's done and I'm ready to release it, because she was ready to move on. She was burning up and she had no shame. So yeah, yeah,
I love that you
definitely.
zeroed in on that lyric though, because I mean, of course, because what Madonna's really great at, as far as I think in songwriting, is she's really good at using, I think, let's say, easily translatable or easily understood by many, I don't know if metaphor or like phrases, right? Things that everybody
It's
knows.
relatable. They're
Yeah.
relatable. Yeah.
Well, I mean, for example, the phrase "lucky star" and "wishing on a star," it's everybody has this, relatable experience with that. So that particular line though has such it's so like can live forever, rent free in your brain as far as who she is, but inside of us, like especially a lot of Madonna fans, I think they all wish that they could be just like that.
Oh, it's a mantra. You could
yeah.
totally use that as, you're strutting down the street, and you are like wearing that tight pair of jeans and that cool jacket that you just got. And you're like, I'm not the same. I have no shame. Yeah. It's like,
I'm on fire.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's anthemic.
Anthemic is an excellent word, I think. There was another thing. I think the other part of this is the whole record is just like dance. You could dance the entire time. You can do it, you can use it for working out. You can use it for dancing. I've always said I wish that I had like a single room in my house with like huge speakers, disco lights, and that was just like where I would go. And
see, you need a mom cave. What's that? What's that? The she shed out back,
she shed,
right?
yeah.
A she shed. Oh Lord, help it.
You've never heard that? Yeah, it's called a she shed, and that's your place out back for you to retreat when you
not
want,
big enough.
when you want space. You need more than a shed.
I need like 600 square feet. I need like a huge room.
But I need a she studio.
To Liberty's point, and of course I'm trying to Google it and I can't remember which publication it was in, but what you're talking about the relatability to digestibility, there's, oh my God, I can't remember who wrote the review, and I feel like it was in the New York Times for one of the late career albums, but they talked about how Madonna's most successful songs are written like slogans.
That's it.
So, yeah, it's like express yourself, right? So right there, the title is both a slogan and a manifesto, and it's relatable and it's digestible and it translates across languages.
Yep.
And I wish people in the chat, if anybody remembers what review or magazine that was in, or newspaper, I feel like it wasn't that long ago, and because I feel like it was a review of one of the more recent albums talking about how she doesn't do that anymore. That post Confessions, she stopped writing in slogans.
There's some parts.
There's a few songs where she
Come Alive.
Yeah, Come Alive, definitely.
Crazy. You must think I'm crazy.
But like one of the last great slogan songs obviously was Get Together, right?
Yeah.
That is an example of how she could still do that even in her legend era. She could write a song that was both a slogan and a manifesto and distilled the essence, and it could translate across cultures and languages. And
I mean,
somebody said it was a review for Rebel Heart, which tracks because that album tried really hard to be sloganish.
There was a lot of try hard there.
It was, and I think that was part of it. She was trying to capture, and she gave interviews about that where she was trying to capture that original first album magic, and it just, she couldn't pull it back together. And so in some ways it's like the perfect distillation of who she is as a musical artist. I wouldn't say it's the best distillation of who she is as a conceptual or visual artist. I mean, the looks and the videos and the persona and the ideas got much more interesting later on.
Right.
But musically, it's like the blueprint for who she wanted to be. And it is interesting to think about, like, yeah, Rebel Heart's a good comparison because it couldn't be further. It was too many tracks. And I mean, not that it didn't have great songs, like Living for Love had potential to be a slogan type anthem, but they ruined it when they remade it.
That to me speaks to, when you have more than 1 to 2 writers on a song, you start to sort of mix messages, because only I live in my brain, only Stefan lives in Stefan's brain. And when
that I know of,
like when well, you do have 2 little
Gemini.
What I mean is, like, for example, when Stefan and I are working on a track, or we're working on a song that we're gonna, we have, it takes a lot of really refining what feeling we're trying to get across. And given that, I'm in one part of the country and he's in another, that is really difficult to do, because that it's difficult to relay the tone or the feeling that I'm trying to get, that. And when I'll send something back to Stefan and I'm like, don't you see it? You know what I mean? Or Stefan sends to me like, I don't understand why why didn't
how are you not getting
Yeah.
this? How are you not getting this, Liberty? What are you not understanding?
It takes a lot.
Yeah.
So I think when, and I think that that's true of a lot of music today, is that there's a lot of people with their fingers in the pudding.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. Well, let's come up with another one. Too many
fingers in the pudding. That's nasty. Ew.
Y'all,
I mean, I would.
I'm about to
like
summon
touching
Jesus on you.
I would
too.
stick my own finger in the pudding, but I don't want somebody else's finger in the pudding. That would just be nasty.
Too many hens in the hen house.
Fingers are in your pudding.
Mm-hmm.
Next time you want, where's the beep button? Beep.
Next time you want pudding, baby.
Oh Jesus!
Just look in the blender.
Just look in the blender. Just look in the Jello.
And the next time you want pudding, just look in the refrigerator, baby.
It's 3rd shelf.
Too many syllables.
But you get what I'm saying. Is it's just like, I've got a word in on that song. I have a word in on the song. I have another, I would love a pure, it's Madonna and Stephen Bray. Just
well, that's I have high hopes for Madonna and Max Martin. I think the production is going to be stellar. I think the writing is going to be pretty top notch, and I do think they're going to go anthemic in some way. So maybe, Ben, this will be her return to slogan songs.
A slogan song. But also, I think that she has wanted that for a really long time, and she just keeps getting like, yeah, but Madonna, don't you want to, it's like sliding the $20 bill across the table.
Think,
like, come on,
I think
Madonna,
I think that's what would not elevate her music, because I think her music has been so different and so experimental. But I keep freezing.
You were frozen, and it was a really good face too. It was like
freezing.
Now I'm sitting here like, okay, so what other songs in the later catalog would technically? I Don't Search, I Find comes really close. Mm-hmm. But it just didn't.
Well, it doesn't have the hook.
It's too literature.
And it never takes off. It never takes off the way that an because you can name the slogan manifesto vibe songs, right? Like Holiday, Lucky
Papa
Star,
Don't Preach,
Papa Don't Preach, Material Girl, Like a Virgin, Open Your Heart, Like a Prayer, Express Yourself, Vogue. Like you can just start going.
It's almost like it's a command. It's when Madonna is singing first person to somebody else. So it's like, express yourself. She's talking to us. She's talking from her to you. Can we get together? She's posing a question. Mm-hmm. Papa Don't Preach. She's telling somebody, please, don't do this. It's there's Vogue. Don't just stand there. Let's get to it.
Don't tell me, get together.
Yeah, there's commands and there's hooks, infectious hooks that come along with those songs. I love I Don't Search, I Find, most specifically the Offernism remix, but it's missing a hook a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But still a great song. I would Hopefully Max Martin is cranking out a hook with her on whatever song they've come up with. I had high hopes for whatever her and Sickick have put together. But yeah, her and Katy Perry were in the studio before she was in the hospital. Who knows what's coming?
Oh, I tried to forget that. Thanks for reminding me.
No, come on. I think that's look, I mean, when I think of Katy Perry, I think of Sarah Hudson. So, and then I think of Dua Lipa. And so
I know I actually wondered if maybe because Katy was involved with Madonna, I wondered if, oh, here I go freezing again. I wonder if,
that's because you're putting out the devil's work with this, what you're about to say.
I was sticking my finger in the pudding. It's
going to get chopped off by the blender.
I wonder if maybe Sarah is involved in writing for Madonna in a song if Katy was involved. Because Sarah can't say anything until that song is out.
Right. But Sarah's outfits lately.
So good. I don't know if you, for anyone listening, we had Sarah Hudson who co-wrote Levitating, and she's written a couple other Dua Lipa, and she's written, Dark Horse with Katy Perry, and she's won Grammys, and she's amazing. If you don't follow her on Instagram, you're missing out because she wears some of the most amazing outfits. Amazing. I'm like, oh my God, I want to raid her closet, even though I probably wouldn't be able to fit in any of her clothes.
I know.
Because she's a tiny little thing, but I would just wear that, like her pants as a scarf or something.
Yeah. She had a cool, the cone looking, it was
gorgeous.
A halter.
Yeah. It was
so good.
Jean-Paul Gaultier. It was a cone.
It was a Gaultier?
Yeah, it was Gaultier.
I couldn't have the sound on because I was at work. Yeah, but
anyway, go follow Sarah Hudson because she's great. But I hope, because it's been her dream to write with Madonna, and she's always come super close, and it's never happened. So like, who knows? Maybe it'll happen this time.
As in Germany, drück die Daumen, press your thumbs. That's what they say for cross your fingers.
That's pudding talk.
Fingers in the pudding, kids. All right, let's go.
Okay, like YouTube is going to end up flagging this and like taking it down. Y'all so nasty.
We're talking about pudding.
Sure.
I'm
a good Christian girl. YouTube, I know what you're talking about.
YouTube does not know an intention.
Oh my
Ben,
Lord.
What's happening in the chat? Is there anything we need to respond
we're
to?
Not at the moment. Everyone's talking about who they'd like to see Madonna collaborate with, and there was a lot of discussion about what songs. Well, we sort of had a side conversation about Rebel Heart after I sort of slagged it, so I had to defend it in the chat because I love Rebel Heart. But my point is that it wasn't. There weren't the slogans and the manifestos, but there were some great songs like
Ghost Town,
Living for Love, the title track. I love the title track on Rebel Heart. Like
the original or the
I love the Avicii version.
I like the redone guitar one, not the original.
I think because the Avicii version leaked first, I just I always had that the Rebel Heart, and it's like there was just something so like I loved that, and Wash All Over Me. I mean, I still R.I.P. R.I.P. Wash All Over Me.
Ugh.
I still miss that Avicii version was always like the version for me, but
yeah, and there are so many others in that waterfall of things that live somewhere in the ether, but
I wish she would have just done the Avicii album with some of the leaked tracks like Revolution and some of that stuff. And it would have just been that sound. Because if you managed to get your hands on what was it? It was like the 36 track, the iconic leak.
Yeah.
That had like
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I do, and I don't care. Whatever. Like, who cares? But
it's been a while now.
Some of those tracks on there were so great, and they had that simplicity of the first album
because it was her and him,
and
I think there was there was a couple other people. Yeah.
Trust me, bitch.
I get it that part of I think why they flinched on that was because that sound was everywhere.
It was a little too overplayed.
Yeah, it was overplayed, but like. The songs as they were written in that style were fantastic. It could have been a confession situation where she had those songs that she'd written with him and his team, and then just found a different producer.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Like
Yeah.
sort of like Ray of Light, you know, where she was working with Patrick Leonard, and then she's like, but I kind of want this sound. And then that's what happened. But yeah.
Or even Confessions, because Confessions, she wrote some of those songs with Mirwais, and then some with
Stewart.
no, the production team out of Sweden
Oh,
Stewart
yeah.
did. Yeah,
Bloodshine
because Stewart,
Avant.
Stewart only wrote like what, 4 or 5 of the songs on
Mhm.
Confessions. The rest of them were written with like other people, but he gave it that cohesive sound, just like Billy Bubbles did with Ray of Light. So yeah, it was a missed opportunity for something like that because it had
it's
that
because
energy.
Rebel Heart was the reason why we got so many tracks on Rebel Heart was because she was trying to come up with songs to go to other places other than just the album. Like she was trying to get a song on the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack, which is why there was so many sex songs. And I think she came up with a couple versions and they turned her down. So that didn't happen. And then she tried to get a song on the Giver soundtrack, which is why we got Messiah, and that turned her down. You know, like she was trying to be all over the place as well as putting out an album all at the same time. And I think had, you know, The Giver and 50 Shades of Grey actually accepted some of her songs, the Rebel Heart album would have been very, very different than what we would have gotten, because she would have focused it more. Like we basically got a double album because people turned down her soundtrack offerings. And so as a result, she was just like, well, fine, I'm just going to put it all on my album. And
I actually didn't know any of that, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So like all of the sex related songs from they were meant to be possibilities for the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack. So if you
makes a lot of sense now.
If you go back and listen to it, you're like,
like,
oh, think of it in terms of 50 Shades of Grey. And it's like, oh yeah, this makes total sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because I guess at the time I remember thinking like, wow, okay, so we are going to be a little, you know, Dita's kind of, you know, cracking the door open and seeing what's going on. But I didn't realize that. How did I miss what was I asleep or something? I think I was at the gym back when I used to do that sort of thing.
There you go. You were doing yoga and Pilates.
No, I was weightlifting like a maniac.
They're
hey, you got to get your lift on, right?
That's
you know,
right.
If you're going to be, you know, eating all that pudding. That's the last time.
Oh my God.
I don't
what
know
else?
where I come up with like.
What else? Anything?
What about those 2 magazine covers? Did you guys get those, or have you found them or looked for them? The 2, like the one is Vogue, like, but from MDNA tour, and the other cover is one of the first of her photo shoots. It's like very 80s look. I think it's Time magazine. Is it Time?
Yes.
I haven't looked for them.
I haven't. No, I haven't. I don't.
I've seen a lot of folks posting about them, which makes me think I have to get it, which, you know, I don't, but you know.
I think I have all those photos in magazines already.
Yeah. I think it's something for the 40-year, like,
yeah, that's a celebration.
So, yeah. Which is nice. But I used to be crazy about buying magazines.
I wonder if they planned on having that because they figured she was going to be on tour. You know,
yeah, like those things. I mean, that was
editorial schedules are put in place months in advance, so they probably figured that was going to be a celebration of Madonna, who's currently on tour, and they probably had to rejigger some of that. So
the hope was she would be again everywhere, you know, with the music and the magazine and
yep. Yeah, it was. I mean, that's the blessing in disguise is, although I mean, I'm so happy that Madonna is recovering and she's going to be back in our lives very, very soon. But it's like we have all this stuff to look forward to. You know, we have reunions with Madonna friends and fans that we'll get to see on the road, and friends that we've never met yet in person. We'll get to see, and we'll get to have fun putting together some outfits for the shows and get to make some new memories. And I can't wait to be able to experience the tour for the first time in person and get to see what's your favorite number going to be from this show, because we all have a favorite number from a show that she's done, and it'll be curious to see if she does like a typical Madonna number where it's just like her on the stage just by herself being Madonna and commanding the stage. And yeah, I'm excited to hear the different arrangements that she does for the songs,
all the studio versions.
Yeah, I can't, it's so wonderful to think that we're on the precipice of that happening. And although it should have been here already, it's not. It's still something that we get to look forward to. And like I keep saying, the new music that I'm praying. Oops, there goes my light again. I think it overheated. That's when I know it's time to end. It's like,
you're
oh,
fine.
The lights out.
We did have an interesting question for the three of us in the chat. If you could choose the opening song for Celebration, what would your choice be?
Into the Groove.
Oh, Ben.
See, I want it to be a slogan song, so I would want it to be like Express Yourself, probably.
Oh, good. Well, see, I'm overthinking already because I'm like, I don't want it to be a song that she's already opened to tour with. And, so like I mean, I have been saying I feel like it's going to be Everybody just because it's her first single, and it just seems like that would be the most logical sense of her opening with that. Even though I don't necessarily feel like that's an opening tour song. I don't feel it's as grand as
there's just that the recognizable. That's why I think of Into the Groove. It's because if you can imagine, right, that like and I mean, if you're not in your seat at that point,
I mean, that's like I could see her opening. Well, Holiday's always been a closer.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it all of a sudden the lights go down and you hear I
know that
everybody would pee their diaper.
It'd be insane. Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna be wearing diapers.
There's gonna be a lot of diapers on this tour. I'm just saying.
We're gonna swing by the Rite Aid and get some Depends on the way to the arena.
When you hit your 40s, right?
Well, especially
late 40s.
If you're eating all that pudding, that's not going to be a pretty picture.
I could keep putting in. Wait, no, shouldn't. No, I won't do that.
Okay, this joke has officially gone on too long. All right, Stefan, we're getting questions about Our Lady's 65th birthday. You did have something you wanted to say about that, right? In regards
yes,
to the
I did.
podcast?
What did I want to say about Madonna's birthday other than it's coming? We've got a lovely episode planned for y'all. It's our 5th annual Madonna birthday episode. It's crazy that we've been again, Madonna's been doing her career for 40 years. We've been doing this podcast for 5. It's such a small amount of time in the grand scheme of things, but I'm excited to put out an album. We've got some wonderful collaborations forthcoming for that, and a little special something from Liberty and myself.
Oh, fancy.
Wink, wink.
No, it's something. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I hope people like it. I like it.
Well, you'll all have to wait and see. I mean, life is a mystery, darling. So,
well, I guess that's the show for tonight. Well, who knows when we'll be back? It could be very, very soon if she releases some tour dates. So we can all just hold each other's hands and walk through the experience together.
Yes,
it is.
Yeah, as we all scramble to like rearrange
our lives. I know it's like I know I've still got an airplane credit from the Vancouver debacle, so I don't know where I was thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll use that for Kylie. No, not that. That's not happening.
Gosh, I'm so sorry about that part.
Well, if we can all, if y'all get tickets, we should all get tickets to Philadelphia, and then we can all go together.
It's been on my mind.
It's definitely on the agenda if my original show doesn't get rescheduled, so which is probably quite possible.
Well,
I'm gonna have to start looking at the calendar, aren't I?
Yeah. I'm waiting for my email from SeatGeek. I'm not worrying about it until then.
Yeah. Well, remember, everybody, you can find us on Instagram and Threads and Twitter. I did go back to Twitter just because I wanted to make sure that people could find us, but I'm not really on Twitter. I don't support Twitter. but we're there. X,
Okay.
sorry, whatever it's called, whatever they're calling themselves.
What do you call them actually? Like they're not tweets now, right? This what are they? Just
I have no idea. It's the worst branding. Seriously, it's like people with money should not be allowed to run platforms like that. We're there at MLVC Podcast. If you haven't already, subscribe to this wonderful YouTube channel that you're watching us on, so you never miss a video. You could also donate to the show. We're on Venmo at MLVC Podcast. Or if you want to become a subscriber on Patreon, get these episodes before anybody else, except on YouTube. Patreon.podbean.com/MLVC podcast. Everybody, that's our show for today. Thanks again for joining us. We appreciate you. Thank you for your wonderful support of us on every episode and the lovely messages that we do get. Thank you for sending that. It's a lot of work and time and effort that goes into doing these shows. It's time out of our days. Liberty's got family, Ben's got a lover, there's a lot going on.
I don't get messages and I don't read them. That's all Stefan. Don't listen to him.
I forward them to Ben.
And I delete them. I don't read them. I literally don't care.
He just puts me on mute. He's like,
I got things to do, people to supervise and books to write. Like, I'm here for Madonna. I can't be worried about
text to work out,
Yeah, exactly. Liberty and I are over here lifting the weights.
Yeah, I need to.
Keeping the girls up. So yeah.
I was in the gym doing that today just because I was like, oh, Ben's gonna be in a tank top. I've got to hit pec day today.
Yeah, but I'm cut off so I can have my beautiful I Rise faces in my background because I love our new backgrounds. They're fun.
Yeah,
and we did get comments on them. People really enjoyed them.
Oh, so
thanks.
glad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll change it up at next week.
Yeah, we might mix them up.
Next time we come on. If we come back in like 2 days, though, forget it.
No, it's gonna be the same.
You're getting same old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might put on a hat just to blend in.
Oh.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Well, I just want to say to the listeners, thank you so much for being part of this community, and thank you for joining us when we do these lives. It gives such a different dynamic, and it gives it's giving so much. I love it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Everybody go out and be nice.
Yeah. Spread the Madonna love.
That's right.
Get
your cone bustiers too. Don't forget those. That's important. Have no shame.